A sharp electronic beep pierces the dark bedroom, signaling another repetitive day. Cold fluorescent lights flicker to life overhead, casting harsh shadows across the cramped cubicle. But thousands of miles away and thousands of years back, a different morning begins. Golden sunbeams filter through a thick canopy of ancient oak trees, warming the damp earth. Cale opens his eyes naturally, greeting the dawn without a single mechanical reminder. A cool mountain breeze rustles the giant ferns surrounding the peaceful shelter. Beside him, Mira stirs gently, her face relaxed and free from the phantom weight of deadlines. Dewdrops glisten like diamonds on the soft green moss outside their cave entrance. There are no alarm clocks, no endless emails, and no urgent meetings waiting to be attended. Cale stretches his limbs, feeling the deep strength in bones unburdened by hours of sitting. Clear water cascades over smooth river rocks, singing a quiet song of survival and abundance. Myra walks down to the riverbank, her bare feet pressing into the cool, damp sand. Colorful wild birds flutter between the branches, chirping lively melodies into the crisp air. Today, like every other day, belongs entirely to them. Cale picks up a hand-carved spear, its wooden shaft polished smooth by years of use. Sunlight dances on the ripples of the pristine stream, revealing silver fish darting below. This is not a desperate struggle for survival, but a harmonious dance with the natural world. Myra reaches into a thick bush, plucking plump, dark blackberries bursting with sweet juice. The rich scent of damp earth and wild herbs fills the forest, grounding their senses. They do not work for wages, nor do they measure their worth by paper currency. A majestic stag leaps gracefully through the distant meadow, its antlers catching the morning light. Cale watches the animal with deep respect, understanding the sacred bond between predator and prey. They have no concept of a career, yet they possess a profound mastery of their environment. Tall, ancient pines sway gently in the wind, standing as silent witnesses to the passage of time. Mira laughs, the bright sound echoing through the clearing as she splashes water playfully. The simple joy of being alive radiates from her bright, expressive eyes. A nearby squirrel scurries up a tree trunk, hoarding acorns for the coming colder months. Cale sits on a flat rock, patiently sharpening a flint blade with steady, rhythmic strokes. Tiny sparks fly as stone meets stone, a primitive technology that secured their place in nature. Their minds are uncluttered by the endless noise of a connected yet deeply isolated world. The endless blue sky stretches overhead, a vast canvas of infinite freedom. Myra points to a trail of fresh tracks in the soft mud, deciphering the forest's secret language. Every leaf, every footprint, and every gust of wind tells a story they both can read. They are not merely surviving, they are reigning over an empire of untamed beauty. A hawk soars effortlessly high above the valley, riding the warm thermal currents. Cale stands tall, his posture proud and unbowed by the heavy expectations of modern society. They carry no bags of gold, yet they possess the ultimate luxury of unlimited time. Wild flowers paint the rolling hills in brilliant shades of yellow, purple, and red. Mira walks through the colorful field, her fingers gently brushing the blooming petals. The earth provides everything they need, asking only for their presence and respect. By midday, they gather around a small, crackling fire built with dry pine branches. Wisps of gray smoke spiral upward, carrying the savory aroma of roasting fish. The heat of the flames warms their skin, a comforting contrast to the cool forest shade. Cale shares a piece of the sweet, flaky fish with Mira, a silent gesture of deep communal bond. No one counts the calories, and no one worries about the price of the meal. A gentle rain begins to fall, pattering softly on the broad leaves of the canopy. They retreat under a natural rock overhang, watching the misty forest transform. Raindrops create tiny, expanding circles on the surface of a nearby puddle. Myra wraps a warm fur blanket around Cale's shoulders, seeking comfort in their shared warmth. In this small group of 50 people, every face is familiar, trusted, and deeply loved. There are no strangers here, only extended family members who share every burden and joy. A baby giggles nearby, cradled in the safe, protective arms of an elder. Wisdom flows not from books, but from the wrinkled faces and steady voices of the old. Cale listens intently as an elder recounts the ancient legend of the Great Winter. The firelight flickers on the cave walls, bringing painted shadows of mammoths to life. These red ochre drawings are not mere decorations, but sacred portals to the spirit world, Mira traces the outline of a painted horse, her touch reverent and full of wonder. The rain stops, leaving behind a crisp, clean scent that rejuvenates the entire valley. They step back outside, the wet grass cool and refreshing against their bare legs. A vibrant rainbow arches across the sky, painting the heavens with hope. Kale climbs a steep, rocky ridge, his movements fluid, agile, and natural. From this high peak, the vast wilderness unfolds like a green velvet blanket. He feels no urge to conquer or possess this land. He simply belongs to it. Mira sits below, weaving a sturdy basket from flexible willow reeds with practiced ease. Her hands move with a meditative rhythm, a craft passed down through countless generations. The simple act of creation brings a peaceful smile to her lips. A playful wolf pup yips in the distance, testing its voice against the vast wilderness. They do not rush to complete their tasks, for the concept of hurry does not exist. Time is not a resource to be spent, but a continuous river to be swam in. A cluster of ripe wild grapes hangs from a vine, glowing like dark jewels in the sun. Kale harvests the fruit, placing it gently into Mira's newly finished basket. Their eyes meet in a moment of quiet, unspoken gratitude for this abundant life. No boss demands their submission, and no corporation claims ownership of their hours. The afternoon sun begins its slow descent, painting the clouds in warm orange hues. Shadows lengthen across the valley floor, whispering that the day is drawing to a close. Mira gathers dry firewood, her movements deliberate and calm. A family of deer grazes peacefully in the clearing, undisturbed by their gentle presence. Kale kindles the evening fire, coaxing a tiny ember into a bright, roaring flame. The tribe gathers around the warmth, their faces illuminated by the friendly glow. Someone beats a rhythm on a hollow log, a deep, primal pulse that connects them all. Another voice rises in song, a wordless melody that speaks directly to the soul. Mira sways to the music, her spirit free and uninhibited by modern self-consciousness. They dance not for an audience, but to align their beating hearts with one another. Sparkles from the fire drift upward, disappearing into the vast starry night sky. The Milky Way stretches overhead in breathtaking, unfiltered brilliance. Kale laughs as his friend makes a funny face, teasing him about an earlier minor mishap. This gentle mockery keeps their egos small, ensuring that equality reigns supreme. No one seeks to rule over others, for dominance is viewed as a threat to survival. A warm bowl of herbal tea is passed around, soothing their tired bodies. They lay down together on soft furs, their heads resting close to one another. The crackle of dying embers is the only sound in the quiet, peaceful night. Hours later, the world is wrapped in absolute velvety silence. Kale wakes up during the quiet midnight hours, his mind clear and calm. A silver moon hangs high in the dark sky, casting a soft glow over the sleeping tribe. He sits quietly near the entrance, breathing in the cool, crisp night air. Mira joins him, her eyes reflecting the gentle starlight of the ancient heavens. They whisper softly about their dreams, sharing a deep intimacy modern lives rarely afford. This midnight wakefulness is not a curse, but a natural, peaceful rhythm of their biology. A shooting star streaks across the dark sky, leaving a brilliant trail of light. Feeling sleepy once more, they return to their furs for a peaceful second rest. But the gentle flow of this natural life would not last forever. 10,000 years ago, a silent revolution began to sweep across the fertile valleys. A wild wheat plant is deliberately buried in the soil, marking the birth of agriculture. Skeletons from this era reveal a sudden, tragic change in the human condition. Spines bend under the heavy, repetitive strain of tilling the stubborn earth. Bones show the unmistakable marks of nutritional deficiency and widespread disease. The diverse, vibrant diet of dozens of wild plants is replaced by a monotonous grain porridge. A tall stone wall is built around a settlement, marking the birth of private property. With surplus grain comes the rise of inequality and the division of society. A powerful ruler emerges, commanding others to sweat in the fields for his glory. The abundance of free time vanishes, replaced by dawn-to-dusk grueling labor. We traded our wild, majestic freedom for the false security of stone cities. Centuries pass, and the simple fields turn into roaring factories of the industrial age. Black smoke billows from towering chimneys, choking the once pristine blue skies. A loud mechanical whistle screams, forcing workers to align their bodies with machines. The natural, biphasic sleep of our ancestors is forcibly crushed into a rigid schedule. We became cogs in a massive economic engine, valued only for our productivity. Fast forward to the present day, where the ancient cage has grown incredibly sophisticated. A blue light glows from a smartphone screen, capturing a tired gaze late at night. People rush through crowded subway stations, their faces pale and eyes glued to screens. An overwhelming sense of exhaustion hangs heavily over the modern, bustling cities. We suffer from a silent epidemic of burnout, loneliness, and persistent anxiety. We have everything we could ever buy, yet we feel strangely, deeply empty. A solitary plastic cup floats in a polluted urban canal, a symbol of modern waste. We look at our bank accounts, wondering why we must work so hard just to survive, but deep inside your DNA, a quiet rebellion still burns. That sudden urge to run barefoot on the grass is not a childish whim. That feeling of peace when you stare into a crackling campfire is a memory. Your body still remembers the taste of clean mountain water and fresh wild berries. Your spirit still yearns for the deep, uncomplicated connection of a true tribe. You are not lazy for hating the unnatural grind of the modern office. You are not broken for feeling exhausted by a system that treats you like a machine. A small wildflower pushes its way through a crack in the cold concrete pavement. Life always finds a way to break free from the constraints we impose upon it. Kale's ancient gaze seems to reach across the vast ocean of time, looking at you. He asks you to remember what it truly means to be a human being. We cannot destroy our cities and return to the deep, primeval forests. But we can choose to reclaim the wild, untamed spaces within our own hearts. We can choose to spend our precious hours on relationships rather than material wealth. A group of friends sits around a backyard fire, laughing and telling stories. They sing together without an audience, reclaiming the ancient communal joy of music. A father holds his child's hand, walking slowly through a sunlit local park. Time slows down, if only for a brief, beautiful moment of pure presence. The modern world tells you that your worth is measured by your economic output, but the ancient whispering wind tells a completely different, beautiful story. You are a miracle of 300,000 years of survival and love. Your value is inherent, sacred, and entirely independent of your job title. A bright sun rises over the modern skyline, casting a warm, hopeful glow. Take a deep breath, step outside and let the warm sunlight touch your skin. Remember who you are, and finally set your weary spirit free.